picture this, right? You're on a train,
Yeah.
speeding through, I don't know, the Alps.
Yeah.
Beautiful scenery. You're super excited.
Right.
And then suddenly someone gets sick.
Oh.
Like really sick. Medical emergency. What happens? You're in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
You're miles from a station. Like, what do?
It's a little scary when you think about it.
Yeah, and that's what we're looking at today on this deep dive.
Okay.
We're going to be comparing how different countries deal with medical emergencies on trains.
Interesting.
So we've got a bunch of recent articles. We've got some reports on medical incidents, even some national policies.
Okay.
And we even found this really fascinating case study from Japan about a surgeon who had to kind of step up on a bullet train.
Oh, wow.
So we're gonna dig into all of that today.
I'm intrigued.
Are you ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this Japanese story, this is the one that really kind of like sparked my interest.
Okay.
This surgeon, Dr. Aso, he's on a bullet train and a passenger collapses, falls ill.
Okay.
And of course, as a doctor, his instinct is to jump in and help.
Right, of course.
But he realizes that the medical kit that they have on board is, pretty basic.
I see, just the bare minimum.
Yeah, bandages, antiseptic.
Right.
The essential, the very, very basic stuff.
Yeah.
Thankfully, there was a defibrillator.
Oh, okay.
An AED.
That's good.
Which, for those who don't know,
Yeah.
that's an automated external defibrillator. That can be a lifesaver.
Literally.
Literally. Yeah, especially with heart emergencies.
Absolutely.
But the whole thing really got him thinking.
Yeah.
Because he started to think like, what if there were more people like him?
Right.
With actual medical training on trains.
Yeah.
And then he went a step further with his idea, which is kind of what I wanted to get your take on.
Okay.
He suggested that medical professionals should get discounted or maybe even free train travel.
Oh, wow.
In exchange for basically being on call.
Interesting.
If there's an emergency. What do you think?
It's definitely a bold idea.
It is.
But it really brings up that important question of how do we make sure passengers have, access to quick and good medical care when they're traveling, especially at such high speeds,
Yeah.
often so far away from any help.
It makes you wonder, like, what are other countries doing to deal with this?
Yeah, so looking at our research, it seems like there are a few different ways that countries are tackling this.
Okay.
For example, France and Germany, they're actually investing in dedicated medical teams on some of their higher speed routes.
Oh, dedicated medical teams. That's impressive.
It's pretty amazing, right?
Yeah, that's next level.
Yeah, and they don't just handle the purely medical stuff. They're also trained in giving psychological support.
Oh, wow.
To passengers, which can be so important.
Yeah, in those high-stress situations, absolutely.
Absolutely. So it seems like they're really thinking of everything.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about other countries? What are they doing?
Well, the UK seems to be focusing more on training their station staff to respond really quickly in emergencies. So they have paramedics ready to board at the next stop.
Gotcha.
Which for their rail network might be the most, practical solution.
Okay.
Then you've got the US and Japan. They seem to be somewhere in between.
Okay.
They might have some emergency equipment, maybe some basic training for their staff.
Right.
But nothing quite as, comprehensive as France and Germany.
Interesting. So it's kind of a mixed bag depending on where you are.
It seems that way, yeah.
Which kind of brings us back to Dr. Azella's suggestion.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not so far-fetched after all.
But remember we were talking about, there's some downsides to think about, too.
Right. You're right. It's not as simple as just saying, hey, doctors ride free.
Exactly.
There are a lot of logistics.
Totally. How do you even confirm someone's a doctor?
Right.
Are they actually who they say they are? And is it really fair to prioritize certain types of doctors, certain specializations over others?
Yeah. Are we going to have brain surgeons riding for free?
Right, exactly.
And what about nurses and EMTs?
Exactly.
It gets complicated.
It snowballs quickly. And then there's the whole ethical side of things.
Oh, right.
Are we essentially requiring medical professionals to give care if they want a discount?
By giving them a discount, are we obligating them?
It's a slippery slope.
It is.
It's a very tricky area.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, on the surface, it sounds like a really good idea.
Right. Very simple solution.
But then you start to really dig into it.
Exactly.
It's like opening a Pandora's box.
A whole can of worms.
A can of worms, exactly.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even if we did have all these medical professionals on board trains,
they'd
still be limited by the equipment, right?
That's very true. Even the best doctor in the world can only do so much with a basic first aid kit. And, I mean, some of the articles we were looking at mentioned that while some trains do have things like AEDs,
Yeah.
they're often missing essential medications or just more specialized equipment that you would need for serious things.
Right. Like, what if someone has an allergic reaction
Exactly.
or a heart attack or something that needs,
Usually
more?
it's just a Band-Aid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a little frightening when you think about it.
It is a little bit sobering.
Yeah, you get on a train and you expect, you're hoping for a smooth, easy journey.
Right.
And it's like suddenly you're hit with the reality that
Anything could happen.
anything could happen. Exactly.
And you might not be as prepared as you thought
Right.
for dealing with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a lot to consider.
It is. It's a lot to think about. And I think that's, part of what makes a deep dive like this so important.
Totally.
Just to get people thinking about these stuff.
Exactly. To make people aware.
Because you never know when you might be in a situation where this knowledge could be useful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here,
Okay.
it seems like different countries are trying different things
Right.
when it comes to medical emergencies on trains.
Yeah.
Some are doing, more than others. Some are more comprehensive.
Absolutely.
Some are, kind of taking it case by case.
Yeah.
And this whole idea of, should we be encouraging medical professionals to be those first responders by giving them free travel?
Right.
There are definitely pros and cons.
Definitely a lot to unpack there.
A lot to unpack, exactly.
Yeah.
And, it's something that maybe we should all be thinking about a little bit more.
I think so. Yeah.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening.
Okay.
Think about this. Would you feel safer
Yeah.
knowing that there was a trained medical professional on board your next train trip,
Okay.
even if it meant that maybe your ticket price went up a little bit,
Okay.
or even if it meant that there were some other trade-offs? Just something to consider the next time you're booking a trip.
Yeah. Food for thought.
Exactly.
Definitely.
All right, well, on that note,
Yeah.
thanks for diving in with me today.
This was great. I always learn something new on these deep dives.
Me too. Me too. All right, until next time.
See you later.
Bye.